This is the Football Show. Now, how about this? Mark Schwarzer is still with me this morning. I'm delighted to say we've now also been joined from Spain by to view from Spain. We are joined by Spanish football expert Terry Gibson. One's in Spain, one's in London, and that's Terry. Very good morning to you, Terry. It's been quite a summer, hasn't it, in Spain as we continue to look ahead to the start of the Champions League. Lionel Messi leaving, Real Madrid failing in their bid to sign Kylian Mbappe. It wasn't that long ago the trophy ended up in Spain every year, it seemed. What's the mood like over there in terms of a Spanish team winning this trophy now?
Well, I think, to be honest, Rob, that the focus of attention has only just turned to it because we had the transfer window, the international games, the return at the weekend, and all of a sudden today people in Spain are now starting to talk about the possibilities of one of the 5 teams in La Liga actually winning the trophy. I think Real Madrid and Atletico Madrid would be the clear favourites from this league in terms of having a genuine opportunity, genuine chance of winning this competition. So I think it's only now the focus has turned to it. Of course, there's been some other big transfers that have come in and out of Spain over the last week or so. So now I think we can really get our team stuck into the season now, domestically and in Europe. So it's I don't think they're that hopeful, but they still believe, and I think quite rightly so, that one of the teams in La Liga can go all the way.
Well, let's start with looking at Barcelona, shall we? Terry, they take on Bayern Munich tonight. They've had a reasonable start to the season, but where are we with Barca right now? How far off are they of challenging for the league and the Champions League?
Well, I think currently, as things stand in the present, they're a long way off. But that is mainly down to the injury crisis that's hit them. Antoine Griezmann left the club last week. Martin Braithwaite has picked up a cartilage injury. So Luke de Jong, who was signed in the last minute, probably will play against Bayern Munich alongside Memphis Depay. Then you're talking about Youssef Demir, a young 18-year-old that might play, maybe Philippe Coutinho. So at the moment, you look at the back 4, you look at the midfield 3, they can challenge. What they do need is Aguero to get back and get fit. They need Dembele to come back fit as well, and Ansu Fati to be fit. So we could be looking at a different Barcelona. I think when you look at Chelsea last season, for the first half of the season, nobody was really considering that they could win the Champions League. So I think what Barcelona have to do is try to be competitive, try to get through to the knockout stages, and then who knows where they'll be in January. Barcelona, one of the biggest clubs in the world still. We know their financial situation, but trust me, somehow they will find a way to find the money to strengthen the group, or at the very least get some of these top-class strikers back, which they are going to severely miss. So I think tonight it's a big ask for them. They didn't play at the weekend. They've had a little bit of extra rest. But I think Bayern Munich, even at home at the Camp Nou, is going to be difficult for Barcelona to take all 3 points. But I think it's a balance. They're not the Barcelona they was, but they are. I promise you, they are not useless. They've still got some great players, good defence, good midfield, sensational goalkeeper still. It's just the top end of the pitch where if Barcelona were allowed to play 15 players, start 15 players a game, that still wouldn't cover the loss of Lionel Messi. So I think that tells you where we are. With Barcelona, it's a middle ground to be had.
Hold on. What we're trying to do is bring Mark in here, but we need to do some technical wizardry. Yeah. Mark, go again.
We're talking about, you talked about Chelsea there from last season and how they went on to win the Champions League, but they did have a change of manager. In Barcelona, there's already been talk or noise within the press, Laporta talking about Koeman and about the style of football. Do you think for Barcelona to have any chance of winning anything, they may need to change a manager?
I think it's very possible, Mark, but I think the big issue is who would take the Barcelona job at the moment. Xavi is obviously one day inevitably going to be the manager of Barcelona. He's turned it down a couple of times now, and now we understand why he turned it down. He knew that Messi wasn't going to be there probably. He knew the financial situation. So I think if Ronald Koeman was to leave, and he's had a tough job. I mean, there was a period last season where the club didn't have a president, they had no direction. He's come in with a president who clearly wanted to move him on. But again, I allude to the fact that there wasn't too many people around chasing the job at Barcelona. So I think that is another issue that Barcelona are going to have to deal with. It doesn't look at the moment as if his relationship with the president is particularly good either. So there's going to be drama all season on and off the pitch at Barcelona, as invariably there always is.
Yeah, Mark, is the feeling from the outside looking in, and you spend a lot of time in Spain as well, though, that the pull of Barcelona has somewhat been eroded this summer? Or are they still the powerhouse and the attraction that they were before?
I think certainly at the very elite level of player, quality of player, that has eroded away a little bit, I believe. I mean, the question I ask is, would have Sergio Aguero gone to Barcelona had he have known that Messi were leaving? Because I think one of the big pulls was obviously Barcelona, but the fact that Messi was there. I don't think he would have gone there had he have known the situation Barcelona are in. And I think, the more and more it becomes public about how much they're in debt, how they're being run, and the quality of players or the types of players they're bringing to the club, the more players will steer away. It's certainly the top level.
Yeah, Terry, let's get their arch rivals, shall we, in Real Madrid. They've made a good start to the season. They take on Inter Milan tomorrow. How much are they in a better position to really challenge in the Champions League?
I have to be honest, Rob, I have my doubts. Top end of the pitch, no problem whatsoever. Midfield, Camavinga's coming in and got off to a bright start at the weekend. But it's defensively that I think they are struggling at the moment, conceding too many goals. I mean, they conceded 2 in a really one-sided game at the weekend against Celta Vigo. But it's to be expected. When you lose Sergio Ramos and Rafael Varane in one transfer window, it's going to take time to adjust. There was a lot of speculation that Nacho and Militao, David Alaba would plug the gap, but the evidence so far isn't the case. So I think Ancelotti suffered. He's had a few injuries this season in the back four department. No, Mondi hasn't played this season. Alaba missed the game at the weekend. Carvajal has returned now. So I think once they settle down, we'll see some more evidence of whether they can challenge. Still the same in midfield, still excellent up front. Benzema in sensational form this season. And Vinicius Junior as well is really coming to the fore. Add in Bale, add in Hazard, add in Rodrigo. It's still a very talented team, but Ancelotti knows they have to tighten up defensively.
Mark, they were. I know they weren't playing at the Bernabeu last season, but when they faced Chelsea, they were a shadow of perhaps what people had expected. It seemed to be that, you come up against that all-white kit in Europe, and it's worth 2 goals for them already before they'd even kicked off, isn't it? Same question, I guess, for Real Madrid as with Barcelona. Do they still have teams looking at them in awe, or do other teams in Europe look at them now and think, oh, hang on a second, we can take these?
I still think, there's certainly a level of awe. There'll be some clubs, some players will be going there and thinking this is Real Madrid and almost half defeated before the game begins. But then there'll be a lot of other clubs, particularly at the highest level, right at the end of when you get the nitty gritty of Champions League tournaments, like we saw with Chelsea going to Madrid and thinking, you know what, they are there to be taken, and they showed that they were. And I think that has dwindled a little bit. And I think Real Madrid obviously have a bit of an aging squad as well. They've, I think, financially have had issues as well. So, all is not particularly well there either. But there is still enough quality there for clubs to be wary of them.
Yeah, Terry, well, we in England here have obviously been revelling in seeing Cristiano Ronaldo making his second debut for Manchester United. It wasn't such a good experience, was it, for Antoine Griezmann at Atletico Madrid? Tell us about his return. Diego Simeone's side, are they still right up there with potential Champions League winners?
I think, in my opinion, that they would be the best hope for La Liga this season. I think that Simeone, regarding Griezmann's debut at the weekend, he didn't show a lot of patience with his team. There was an air of panic. And one of Simeone's problems this season, he has so many players to choose from. So at the weekend, he used 3 subs at half-time when they were 1-0 down to Espanyol. He has 5 outstanding centre-forwards. He used all 5 in one game. He went from a back 3 in the first half to a back 4 in the second half. And he seems to have a luxury of players available at the moment. Suarez, Griezmann, Acuna came in at 30 million just before the window closed. Angel Correa played at the weekend, and João Felix come off the bench. So that gives you an example of the talent that Atletico have. I think that Simeone, and he has done it in the past where he, chops and changes a little bit too much. That's going to be his big problem this season. He's trying to get a settled team. Again, Atletico surprisingly conceding goals in all the games they've played this season. So I think that tells you that it just needs to be a settling down period. And if you're going to sign Griezmann and give him half a game and then bring him off and put João Felix on and stuff like that, and then to use 5 centre forwards in one game is highly unusual. But they got the winner in the 99th minute, so it worked. But I think a settling down period at Atletico Madrid is needed. But I think that, in my opinion, that they're the best team in La Liga, therefore should be the best hope for a Spanish team to win the Champions League this season.
Terry, is that one of Diego Simeone's biggest challenges, is that adaptation from being a side that were really dogged, very defensive-minded, hit teams on the counter, to now being more on the front foot? Because that's what he's always been criticised for, hasn't he? For almost spoiling opposition. Now is there an expectation to go out and play some good football?
There is, Mark. I agree totally. It's a real dilemma for him because the Atletico Madrid we've witnessed in recent seasons, their strength was defending well, fantastic goalkeeper, I'm sure you'll agree. Attacking set pieces they were good at. And over the years, that's changed. They've won the La Liga last season, but it was a little bit of a surprise that he felt they still needed Antoine Griezmann, considering the players he already has at the club. And we're all wondering how he's going to make it work. At the weekend, possibly it was 2 strikers playing off of Luis Suarez. And I think that's the way he's going to look to go. He started with the 3 at the back. They were 1-0 down at half-time. He changed it all, went to a back 4. But I see a future with 3 central defenders, with the wing-backs, maybe Carrasco on the left, who's been brilliant again this season, Trippier on the right, and then try and somehow work out a system where he could play Griezmann and João Felix off of Luis Suarez. So that tells you the quality. If he can do that, if he can find a way to make those 3 work, then they definitely will challenge in this tournament.
Well, if you can get that, it's a frightening thought, isn't it? Let's just look at the couple more Spanish teams. Villarreal, qualified Europa League winners. They're in with Manchester United, Young Boys and Atalanta. And then we've got Sevilla. They've got RB Leipzig, Lille and Wolfsburg. What chances those two, Terry?
Well, Sevilla, people are saying it's an easy group, but Salzburg have won 9 out of 9 this season, 7 in the league and the 2 Champions League qualifiers. Wolfsburg have won 5 out of 5 and above Bayern Munich in Bundesliga. So I think it tells you it's not as easy as it looks. And Lille last season won the French league above PSG. So, but I think that Sevilla, with their experience, in the game against Salzburg, they're probably the youngest team in the competition. Average age of just over 22, with a 35-year-old left back who's 2 years older than the manager. So experience might play a part in this competition. But then again, we saw the tennis at the weekend. The young don't have any fear. So that it's still a tough group for Sevilla. For Villarreal, they've changed it under Unai Emery. And the deal was, they have won a tournament. The Villarreal we've seen over the last 15 years, which play lovely football and work the ball out the back and have a system of play that's pleasing to the eye, suddenly become a Villarreal that are difficult to beat. Hence Manchester United, hence Arsenal, and Chelsea just beating them on penalties in the Super Cup. So I think Villarreal have changed, but as I said, the deal is they won their first ever trophy. So that's what we're seeing from Villarreal. They'll be hard to beat. They might find it tough to break through in this group, I think. Yeah,
no longer the yellow submarine, are they, though? Going well. I'm going to try some Spanish now, which I apologise if it hurts your ears. Muchas gracias, mi amigo. Hasta luego.
Thanks, Rob.
There we go. Terry Gibson there joining us.